A few months ago, I had the opportunity to buy the biggest video game collection I've ever purchased at once. Valued at over $30,000, this was the most amount of inventory I've ever taken in at once. I've purchased collections that were smaller, but particularly this time, I purchased this collection to resell. So I decided to record a lot of the process, and well, here's how it went. Alright guys, currently I'm on my way to potentially purchase someone's entire video game collection. He has it all price charted. Apparently it's supposed to be worth, you know, like just over 30 grand. I might not be able to film inside, so we'll see what happens, man. This is gonna be the biggest, you know, potential purchase I've ever done. After a little bit of negotiation, we came to a number I think we're gonna agree on. I haven't checked out all the stuff, but just based on everything I saw initially, I think it's gonna be worth it. It's Saturday now, banks are closed, so I'm gonna go check it out again on Monday and we'll see if this pulls through. And pull through this collection did indeed. I mean, the stuff here was absolutely in fantastic condition. I mean, this collection's been curated for more than 20 years. Tons of great stuff ranging from NES to Switch. I mean, if there was any more of it, I would have had to make a second trip. Yeah, no, this collection was absolutely fantastic, and I'm glad I had the opportunity to buy it. It definitely took me a few trips to get all of it back inside. And with this final guitar, that marks everything that I picked up. So my guess is that all of this is probably 27, 28 grand worth of games. Might be a little less, maybe a little more. But regardless, it's gonna take me a while to sort through all this and get it all sold. Everything you see here is gonna take, you know, I estimate probably 4 months, 5 months to get, you know, get it all gone, get it all sold, and whatever trash is left, I don't know what I'm gonna do with it, but yeah, this is gonna be quite the endeavor. Okay, after a bit of work, I got it all sorted out. It's all in just a nice little area. You know, I was thinking for a little bit like, maybe I underpaid, maybe I overpaid. It might not be, you know, enough to make up for the cost. But now that I'm looking at, just what I've got, I haven't really picked out what I'm gonna keep yet. But this is, I mean, this is a lot more than, I don't know, just seeing it again in my own area. It does seem like a ridiculous amount of stuff. And great, it is a ridiculous amount of stuff. So, yeah, I've really got my work cut out for me. I mean, first things first is I need to figure out what I'm gonna keep. And I gotta be really careful about that too, because I don't wanna keep too much and make it so that the purchase wasn't really worth it. And I also don't wanna keep too little to where it's like, well, why did I even buy this lot if I'm literally just gonna sell everything and not really keep anything? Like, why did I even do this then? So, we'll see. I decided to start with the GBA games, listing those, and within like 30 seconds, Pokemon Emerald sold. So this is the first game out of all of this. Everything here. This is the first one that sold. All I gotta do now is just get it packaged, and then take it out. Alright, so I've kind of started the process of creating like a low value box, kind of stuff I know that is just not gonna really sell or move, or if it is, it's gonna be for really low dollars. And stuff that's here that looks like it'd be high dollar is either empty, broken, missing, something's wrong with it. So I'm kind of just gonna set all this stuff aside, and once I'm kind of done selling everything that will move and is actually worth something, at the very end, I'll kind of just go through all this and just kind of figure out what to do with it. Hopefully by the time I get to this stuff, I will have profited, or at least just made my money back, and then I can kind of just, you know, do whatever I want with this stuff, and just whatever, you know, pennies I get, it's just bonus. Okay, 3 days in, first 1,000. Here we go. You may be wondering what I spent for all of this. It was $12,350. Alright guys, I just had my first week selling all the stuff transferred to my savings account from eBay, and this is where we're at. So almost a quarter way to my goal, and then anything after that is profit. I'm honestly doing a little better than I thought I would, so let's keep going. I kind of drastically underestimated how much packaging I was going to end up going through, so I ended up just, you know, biting the bullet and just buying a pack of 100 bubble mailers. I should end up using all of them at some point, but yeah, definitely the most I've ever spent on packaging. So at this point, I've got one bin now that's just completely filled with a lot of items that are kind of low value. Pretty much anything in here is, well, actually there are some empty cases in here. So all of my empty case stuff is just gonna go in here, and then anything that's worth like $15 or less is going in these bins. So I already filled up one, and now I've got a second one going. So kind of, you know, as I'm going through this, I'm gonna just be throwing more stuff in here. I don't really know what I'm gonna do with it at the end. I'm gonna wait till absolutely everything that's, you know, high dollar is gone. Then I'll kind of deal with these. I might keep some stuff, but realistically, I'll probably have 2 full bins of just low value stuff, and I'll probably take them to a game store and see, you know, if they're willing to go through it and give me anything really for it. You know, anything in here at this point is, I'm just considering bonus, because I didn't even take any of this stuff into account in my evaluation of the collection. I kind of just said, you know, anything that's worth less than like $15, I'm not even gonna count. I'm just gonna get rid of all of it and only count everything above that, just because I know a lot of this stuff just won't really sell anyways. But anyways, long-winded rant aside, that's where all my low value stuff is going. All right, guys, it's now week 2. Progress has been pretty steady. Sales have been coming in. I've been packaging something every day. And now from eBay, I am at, I didn't read the number before, so whatever this number is, that's what I'm at. And now the beginning of week 3, this is what's on the chopping block. We got 2 Wii's, bunch of PlayStation games, Pocket Station, which I'm surprised hasn't sold yet, but a bunch of Game Boy Advance games that I just posted. And then we still have tons, oh, actually all these Game Boy games are listed. I'm surprised more than haven't gone away. I probably gotta just price them lower. But all these PlayStation games still have been sold, and there's still big ticket items here, like Persona 2, Persona 1, Misadventures of Trombone should be, yeah, right here, Misadventures of Trombone. Like, there are big ticket items for just the PlayStation side, and then I still haven't touched any SNES. I mean, I still got, you know, complete in-box Chrono Trigger, some other complete in-box stuff, and then just tons of games. So I still got a lot of work cut out for me, but being at, you know, about 4,500 bucks after 2 weeks, you know, I'm already past, you know, the 30% mark. I really can't complain. Granted, a lot of the stuff I've sold so far is all the easy stuff, the small stuff that is highly desirable and easy to pack. A lot of the collector's editions and the consoles and stuff I have not gotten rid of yet, so those will be more difficult, but we'll go from there. Well, guys, the time has finally come. I have now broken even finally on the sale, and because of that, my reward is that I get to finally check out what I decided to keep. Yeah, right when I started to sort through everything, I said to myself, I'm gonna get a milk crate, and I'm gonna toss everything I want in this, and I can't have anything more. I kind of cheated a little bit, but generally speaking, this milk crate contains everything that I decided to keep. And you know, I was prepared to sell all this if I had to. But, well, I'm glad that, you know, I was able to at least break even, and I still have a lot of stuff to sell, so hopes are high there that I'm able to make a good chunk of change. But no matter what, I at least just get to keep everything in here for free. All right, so first off, we got a multi-tap for the PS1. I've been looking for this for a while. Got some PS2 games. Got Grand Theft Auto 3. This is one I haven't had. And then another one that I've been looking for a while, but can never really find it, out in the wild at least, was Kia Dark Lineage. It's one of these, you know, mid-2000s platformers that I've never tried before. Could be good. Got a DualShock 1 controller. Got another Dreamcast controller. I have a second Dreamcast controller, but it's some third-party piece of crap, so it's good to have an actual good one. It's a little dirty, but all the buttons feel fine. That's really all I can ask for. Next, I've got some Japanese PlayStation games. Got the Japanese version of Legend of Mana. Really, the only reason I'm keeping these is just because I really like the artwork of the Japanese PlayStation games. I like the way the boxes are, too. But I mean, oh wow, this one's like still like mint condition. Has the like cover stickers with it too. But the main reason I'm keeping a lot of the Japanese stuff that you'll see is they're really not worth any money. So, you know, is it really worth like making $5 to sell this thing when I think it's a pretty cool item? I don't think so. And same thing goes for I think this is Chocobo Dungeon 2 or maybe Chocobo Racing 2. Not sure. Whatever. Chocobo game this is, the second one. Next, I've got some PSP games. Surprisingly, these were like worth not a lot, so I kind of just decided to keep them. Final Fantasy Tactics, The War of the Lions, Dungeons and Dragons Tactics, and Crisis Core. I already played through the remake, so I'm probably never gonna play the PSP version, but you know, it's good to have. My PSP collection is literally one game, so it's good to have more PSP games to the collection. Next up is just the box and the insert in the manual, no game for Super Monkey Ball Jr. You know, realistically selling this, I would make like $5, so I might as well just keep it, and if I find the game one day, maybe I'd consider selling it or just keeping it. Regardless, I'm keeping this for now. Next up, actually, let me bring the rest of this. So this one was kind of bittersweet. I ended up getting this in a trade. Some guy on OfferUp hit me up. I listed a sealed copy of The Machine. It's like a fan-made Game Boy game that was just released recently. If someone's gonna go buy it, they're not gonna go on eBay to buy it when they can literally just buy it directly from the developer. So, couldn't really sell it. So I posted on OfferUp just hoping to see if anyone would want it for cheap. This guy offered me a trade for a Genesis 2, complete with the cables, and a box and game for Sonic 2, a Sega 6-pack, Mean Bean Machine, and Vector Man. All the games work, controller's fine, it all looks clean. Unfortunately, I don't know if the guy did this intentionally, but the unit, the actual Genesis, it works, but controller port 1 is like not functional. Basically, like, I've tried this with another controller too. Inputs are just completely messed up. So up will just not work sometimes. B, A, C, they just kind of don't work right. Basically, it makes it unplayable, so I'll kind of just be using this Genesis as a showpiece, and I kind of view it as I traded the machine to get these games and, you know, a showpiece, but still worth it because the chances that I was going to sell that game was pretty much zero. Next up, got the limited edition, or collector's edition, yeah, limited edition of Destiny 2. Of course, it's a version of Destiny. I gotta have it. Next up was a brand new DualShock 4 controller. I'm trying to have a complete in-box, preferably new, version of every DualShock controller, so this was just one I needed to have. And really thankful that it's in black too, and not some weird, funky, like, camo color or something. Next I've got got some English repro translations of Mother 1 and 2? Yeah, Mother 1 and 2 and 3. These are just good games to have. They're not really worth selling at all. They're games I have not played. Well, I guess I've played Earthbound for a couple hours, but yeah, these are games just worth playing one day. Next up, this one's a good find. I have a PlayStation 1 memory card, brand new in the box. In fact, the little like tab to hook it on like the display pieces isn't even punched out. Yeah, this is just a good piece to have. Next up, got a complete in-box pocket station. I've always thought these pocket stations were pretty cool. I've never had one, I've never used one, so good to have one complete in box. Next up, I've got the Final Fantasy Collection. This is a Japanese exclusive Final Fantasy sort of collection piece, I think. It's not really worth any money, and I think the art is really, really cool, so I figure I'll just keep it. Next up, got Destiny. Of course, gotta have another copy of Destiny. And for the PS3, I think this is the only PS3 game I kept out of the entire lot. Now, the PS3 collection that he had was pretty subpar compared to everything else, but keeping this copy of 13.2. I have 13.1 on already on PS3, and I had 13.2 on 360, so I figured let me just stay consistent. Let me have both of them on the same console, and so I'm keeping this. Next I've got Sonic Mega Collection Plus. This is one I've been meaning to get for a while. Yeah, it is complete. Used to play it a bunch when I was a kid. I'm not really a fan of Sonic anymore, so I don't know how often I'm going to play this, but I'm always trying to get games that I used to have when I was younger. Next up, this is a freaking good one. Wild Arms 5, the 10th anniversary edition. It's an absolute shame that the stickers are on the cardboard, but this thing is otherwise in really great condition. This is something I would just not find in the wild, so definitely got to keep something like this. And then next up is Persona 3. I don't know if every version of the game on PS2 came with the art book and the cardboard and whatnot, but this one does come with the art book, the game, and comes in the cardboard sleeve, so can't really complain about that. Next I've got some smaller games here. Got Dark Cloud 1. This is one I've been trying to find for a while. Usually I'll find this game very commonly, but it's always the greatest hits version, so good to have a black label. Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 4. Again, I'm trying to have every single version of Tony Hawk's Pro Skater. Dragon Ball Z Budokai 3. I've only ever played the HD version of this game on the HD collection. I've never had the opportunity to play it. Well, I've played it on the PS2 before, but I never had it. So cool to have this. Okay, next up, these two were absolutely fantastic things to get. I've got Lunar and Lunar 2, absolutely complete and in like excellent condition. Again, like the chances that I'm gonna find these out in the wild for an acceptable price is pretty much zero. So when I get an opportunity to keep these games for free like this, I can't pass up on that. These are games I've always, you know, I don't really know much about them, but I just think the box arts are so cool. And I've always heard that they're fantastic RPGs. So yeah, I can't wait to check them out one day. Okay, next up, this one was kind of a bittersweet too. This is just the box inserts manual, everything except the game of Super Metroid. Originally, I was gonna sell it because I thought it was complete in box, but when I opened it up, there's no game. So I kind of figured, like, do I sell this for, like, I don't know what they go for, but they certainly don't go for a great value without the game. I might as well just keep it and then one day maybe get the game for myself. I like Super Metroid. I've played it before. Yeah, I figured, you know, if I'm gonna have a complete in box SNES game, why not be Super Metroid? And then it also came with some like promotional like Nintendo Power pamphlet with it. So yeah, I think this is now the only SNES game I have, well, only box I have for the SNES that I kept. So I ended up getting this SNES. It's a little yellowed, but I've definitely seen way worse condition SNESs. It works, everything works on it, so that was nice to see. Got a copy of Donkey Kong Country with the manual, Super Mario World and Star Fox, both with their manuals. Those are good to have. Got a copy of F-Zero, Killer Instinct, Tetris 2, and Aladdin. And again, this is all the SNES stuff I decided to keep. This plus the Super Metroid box. Alright, next up, got some boxed Game Boy games. Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 2 on the Game Boy Advance. The box is in pretty rough condition, and even if it was in great condition, it's really not worth anything, so might as well just keep it. Next up, this is one I've been looking for a while, and then, again, like Mario and Luigi Superstar Saga, you're not finding this out in the wild. So yeah, if I can get it for cheap, in this case, free, I gotta hop on that. Super Mario Bros. 3, or Super Mario Advance 4. It was between this or keeping Super Mario World, because he had, in the collection was this and Super Mario Advance 2. I figured since I'm already going to keep Super Mario World on the SNES, I might as well keep Super Mario Bros. 3 for the Game Boy. No point in having two versions of the same game, especially when one is obviously the better version. And then I got Final Fantasy VI Advance. This is a great upgrade, because a few months ago, I got the loose version of the game. The box is really mint. To get a better condition box, it would have to be sealed, honestly. So, absolutely great pickup here. Oh yeah, we got Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1. I think actually with this, I think now sequentially I have every single Pro Skater game up until Project 8. And then I think after Project 8 is Proving Grounds. I know I don't have Proving Grounds, which I think that's the last traditional Pro Skater game. Anyways, yeah, good to have this. And then this game was weird. It wasn't listed in the collection, but I ended up finding it under some stuff. It's called Racing Lagoon. Apparently, it's a very good racing RPG that was Japan only. It just looks really cool, so I decided to keep it. And then next up, got Tales of the Abyss, the Platinum Hits version in Japan, or whatever they call it, the best collection. I think the box art is absolutely hideous, but honestly, I think it's like kind of so bad that it's good. I've never even, before I saw this, I've never actually seen what a greatest hits Japanese game look like. So I think it's kind of just fun just for the novelty. Next up, I got like a PlayStation Underground pamphlet. Only reason I'm keeping it is just because it has a Crash Bandicoot show off or whatever right there. So I think I'll just keep that and display that one day. Next up, this one kind of sucked, but hopefully it leads to something. It's a Game Boy Advance SP. It's a 101, so it's the good one. I couldn't get it to charge. I couldn't get it to turn on. So hopefully it's just a bad battery and I changed the battery and it'll work. So yeah, hoping this just works. Next I've got some DS, 3DS stuff. Got Final Fantasy 3 on the DS. I don't remember why I'm keeping this. I mean, I don't have another version of Final Fantasy 3 anywhere, so I think that's why I'm keeping it. Keeping Chrono Trigger on the DS. I know this is, I don't know if there's any contention on it, but I've heard that this is supposed to be the best version of the game. I mean, I had this version or the SNES version, and honestly, I don't really care about Chrono Trigger that much, so I'm not going to keep a $600 game that I don't care about, so might as well sell the SNES version and keep this one. Next I've got Pokemon X. I'm just trying to have all the games I used to have when I was a child. I don't really like X or Y that much. I think they're definitely the best 3DS Pokemon games. And then next I've got Mario 3D. Actually, if I remember correctly, yeah, it didn't have the game with it, so I just had the box. Whatever. And then lastly for the 3DS, I've got Super Smash Bros. For 3DS. Okay, we are getting down there. This is the only Switch game I kept out of everything that was there. Dead Cells. I know. Oh, it actually comes with a manual or art book, whatever. That's cool. I know it's supposed to be a pretty good Metroidvania. Next up, got Wild Arms Complete. You know, I've heard this is supposed to be a pretty good RPG on the PS1. That's all. Only reason I kept it. Oh wow, I forgot that was there. Next up, got Breath of Fire 4. This is one I used to play on a burned CD. I really liked it. I loved the art style. Thought it was pretty cool, and thought I should probably have the real version. And then lastly for the games, I forgot I kept this. Xenogears. This is one I've been looking at for a while. I think the art style is pretty cool. Yeah, I just know this is supposed to be like one of the best games on the PS1. And then lastly, the last thing I decided to keep was a complete in-box Nintendo DS Lite. And with that, that is everything I decided to keep from this entire collection. I'm not entirely sure off the top of my head what all this is worth, but I'll go ahead and put the number right here. Whatever I inevitably make in profit from selling everything else, I also get to keep this dollar amount of games with that. I had actually completely forgotten about all the Dreamcast stuff. It was in a box, like way deep in there. This was like the last thing I was gonna sell, but yeah, I just had completely forgotten about it. So I kind of decided this is gonna be the pile of stuff I'm gonna keep, and then I'm gonna sell everything else here. Kind of cool that there was a complete in box memory card like transfer unit. I'm not really, you know, too nostalgic for the Dreamcast. I never had one. Well, I guess I had one when I was a preteen, but I don't know. I don't really care to have something like this laying around. I know it's probably worth at least 40, 50 bucks. Might as well just sell it. The Dreamcast itself, it's kind of dirty. It's kind of gross, but it works. So yeah, I'll probably just bundle up all these games with the Dreamcast. Coolest game, I would say, besides Grandia 2. Where is it? Yeah, right here. It's a Japanese version of Jet Set Radio, which has an absolutely fantastic cover. I mean, this is just like American games. They just don't look this good, especially when you compare this to like the American cover of the game. Like, this is just absolutely fantastic. Okay, so one, I guess, little final surprise in this collection. I opened up this, I guess it's a Switch case, and there was just a bunch of Pokemon cards inside this pocket. I did not know that these were here. I don't know if any of them are rare or anything. I used to have a ton of Pokemon cards, but I sold all of them a long time ago. I don't know, I'll have to go through these and I'll put something on the screen if there's anything cool in here. Alright guys, well now that I've broken even, this is everything I'm left with. I still have a few really high ticket items. Still have not sold Chrono Trigger there on the bottom. A few Game Boy games, lots of good stuff. Oh yeah, all these GameCube games, these are recent pickups. This doesn't have to do with the initial sell. But yeah, still good stuff. Complete in box, Mario 3, bunch of SNES games. Still have the Analog Pocket. I just listed this recently, hasn't sold. The GameCube with the Game Boy player still there. Final Fantasy 16 Collector's Edition. I actually don't even know what this is, but it's probably valuable. The Pixel Collection remaster for Final Fantasy 1 through 6 on Switch. And then the prize possession of the whole collection, the brand new GameCube, even though it's got some damage. This I have not even listed yet, so I'd say we're looking pretty good. Oh, and the Rock Band set. I completely forgot about the Rock Band set. Yeah, I still have this complete Rock Band 4 set for the PS4. Oh, and then the whole Dreamcast collection and a couple of SNES games. Yeah, Mario RPG. Yeah, we're looking good. I'm pretty confident that, I don't know, I'm projecting like probably at least $4 grand for everything I'm seeing around here. Yeah, and that doesn't include anything in these 3 boxes here. This box is just a bunch of like random crap that can't really be sold. But these 3 boxes have a bunch of games and stuff that aren't like worthless, but they're also not really worth me posting individually, and I can't really lot them together. So I'm thinking by like December 1st, whatever I haven't sold, I'm just gonna put it all together, take to a game store, and just see what they'll take. And then anything that they won't take, or if I just don't like the offer they give me, I'll try and offload it all on OfferUp and just go from there. But I think we're looking pretty good. All right, well, people, it is October 31st, and this is what we're left with so far. These 4 things are the only things I have not listed. Well, it is time for another grail to go. Someone just bought Chrono Trigger. Time to get this off. Well guys, pretty much everything at this point has sold. So this is what I have left. Ignore all this stuff. This is all stuff I've gotten in the past few weeks. But starting from actually here, yeah. So GameCube, a couple controllers, Dreamcast thing, collector's editions. This little section right here, plus the Rock Band 4, that's it. That's all I'm gonna be keeping. Everything else either sold or is in these two bins right here. So this is all kind of the stuff that's kind of not super low value, but also not high value. Something I really couldn't sell on my own. Just stuff I just need to get liquidated. Gonna take it to a game store tomorrow, see what they give me. And of course, the day before I'm gonna go liquidate stuff to clear up space, I found an offer that I just couldn't refuse. Everything you see here was $250. I mean, it's like, it's just crazy. Yeah, I didn't plan this. I swear to God I didn't plan this, but I started opening up all the consoles. Okay, so I get to this Dreamcast. I mean, you can't write this shit. Honestly, guys, I couldn't really be much happier with the sale. Pretty much everything that was high value sold. The only thing that I have that was worth more than $30 that didn't sell in the collection was this complete in box Secret of Mana. I priced it pretty aggressively, but no one really wanted it, I guess, over the past 2 months. So gonna go ahead and head over to Lost Levels in Claremont and just see what they give me for all this. Okay, just finished at the store. This bin is just everything they could not take. A lot of it is pretty low dollar stuff or just broken stuff, so understandable. But with all the stuff that I was able to sell, I was able to get this. And for a little bit of a discount. Okay, next stop, whatever's left here, all the stuff that Lost Levels couldn't take, I'm gonna go ahead and take it over to here, Retro Teos. Looks like it's a new store. I called them. They've only been open for a few months. I haven't been here yet, so we'll go ahead and see what we can do here. Well, that was a bit of a failure. They offered me $20 for the whole thing, which honestly is pretty fair considering most of it is just a bunch of junk. But I think we could do better. I think if I check out another game store, I think we could probably get more. I mean, I might as well check out a store on the way home. And if not, whatever, I lost out on 20 bucks. Not a big deal. Well, guys, miraculously, someone on OfferUp wanted to buy those games. So I got rid of them that way. I got 40 bucks for that box, and then I had another box of absolute trash. Sold both of them for 80 bucks. Can't really complain because those games were literally just, I counted them as 0. So, and with that, guys, there's pretty much nothing left from that collection for me to sell. Ever since then, I have been non-stop picking up inventory, going to yard sales, going to thrift stores, picking up stuff on OfferUp. There hasn't been a day where I haven't packaged up something to sell. Honestly speaking, going into next year, I'm hoping to double, triple, quadruple what I just did in the past few months. So, thank you guys for watching, and here's to a sick 2024. So,